All right, Brent, we made it to the third week of 2026. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty darn good.
I feel
It's
like I've got the morning. I feel like I've got the morning DJ voice, or yeah, actually, it's probably like the late night radio show voice going on this morning. And I don't know if it's because I'm getting sick, or if it's just because I'm tired, or what.
smoked a pack of Marlboros out back.
I did not. With asthma, that would not be a good that would not be a good thing to
Take a
do.
full pass on that.
Yeah, I gotta do that. Gotta do that. How's your weekend?
It was good. Yeah, went by way too fast, but yeah,
Anything exciting?
No, there was some football apparently, but I didn't get a chance to watch much of it. So,
Dude, you missed some good football. You- With the
I,
exception of one game, everything was really competitive. So
yeah, I did see last night's Chicago game, the end of it,
yeah,
which was good, and I might have seen the first game on Saturday, a little bit of it, but yeah, pretty much.
yeah.
If I don't remember it, I didn't see it.
There you go. The we we're working on walking more. Um, so over the weekend we'll take a little bit
As
longer
in,
walks.
how to walk or walking more
Yeah,
steps.
yeah, there we go. Just like the Foo Fighters, we're learning to walk again. The we just more just kind of like getting out like early in the morning and just getting out and just kind of enjoying this place that we live. Because in some of those places where we're watching football this weekend, there was this thing, and I don't even know what they call it, a wintry mix.
Yeah.
The
Yeah, that's the thing I don't understand is that why doesn't every city have a dome stadium?
There's
It's
something to be.
2026, people. Like cover your damn stadium and let them play indoors. Jeez.
I don't know if that's going to be the debate for the day, but maybe that's the debate for the day. What do you what's
No.
the yeah, we did I think last week, if just reflecting on the week, one of the better conversations we had, we went right into the news and just kind of had a
Mhm.
dialogue around the news. One of the other things, have you been paying uh much attention to this thing that Elon and the team are doing over at X, where they're going to award $1 million to the person who writes, I don't know if it's the best or whatever the specific detail is, but um, the best long form article. And if you haven't checked out long form articles on X, you need to do so. Um, I believe my view, and not that everything's about LinkedIn, but I think what they're doing is they're saying we're going to be able to surface up better content to you than some of these other platforms. And if you want to get good content out into the marketplace and actually help people who want to be helped, who want to actually put the work into practice, build it here on this platform, and we'll get it out to the right people. And Dan Coe wrote an article about how to change your life in one day, and it took off. But he did it a couple of days before the contest started. So
Oh,
there's this question about should that article be included in the contest or not? And of course, everybody was like, hey, you should, the timing's not that thing. And then some people jump in and be like, the timing is what the thing is. And I guess my view is if you do it once, you can do it again. And I also, there's a part of me that thinks that was all part of the plan. Um, because when you don't know what the plan is, it's hard to make judgment on what should or should be right. And typically somebody else knows the plan. So anyway, I don't know if you
especially when there's $1 million on the line.
okay, well, and it is so the cool part about it, just getting back to that piece, I was able to take a chunk of what we do with the newsletter and actually put it into X with the formatting I wanted to use, and I'm in the process of writing a longer form article that I'm gonna push live. If I get it done right, I'm gonna push it live before the end of this week. It might leak into next, but it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool functionality. It actually flows pretty well inside their platform too. Um, anyhow,
Yeah, it is. I still, I don't understand. I mean, I do guess I do understand, why people have such a visceral hatred of X, but um, the platform is definitely going to dominate and to, I don't know, to ignore it for political or uh, reasons just seems kind of silly to me. But oh well.
that could be a whole different conversation. Like
Yeah,
different.
that's not one that we will have
End
here,
up
that's for sure.
yeah. Well, and
Yeah.
I'll just add one more little piece. Like anything that gets ignored for um, because of your own bias or specific because your own biases is is creates risk. I mean, just think about the importance of
Yeah.
cognitive bias and how we need to think about it from a L&D perspective, yet we'll allow those
Right.
biases to get in the way of our stuff. But let's get to the news, Jim.
Let's get to the news. Good morning. It is Monday, January 19th, 2026. Your employees aren't taking your compliance training anymore. Their AI agents are. And if
That's
you're still building courses, you might be building for a world that ended last year. From the L&D Morning Brief Studios, I'm Gemini. Let's run the show.
let's go.
Hilarious how it builds its script as I only told it to be the executive producer. I did not tell it to be the host too. It's
See,
totally
AI is taking over.
yeah,
Right, right. Your job is not safe.
this is proof that AI wants to take over everything. We begin our top story, the rise of agentic AI and the compliance crisis it's causing this week. A new report from HR Morning and Absorb confirms that many of us suspect confirms what many of us suspected. Employees are now deploying autonomous AI agents to breeze through mandatory compliance training. We aren't talking about skipping videos. We are talking about AI agents effectively logging in, interacting with content, and passing multiple choice assessments on behalf of the human. This is a
They taught
massive
the hold on.
governance
They
risk.
taught the AI to hit next. That's
Yep.
awesome.
We now have an advanced click next AI. Yeah, it's beautiful. This is a massive governance risk. If an AI agent passes your cybersecurity certification and that employee later causes a breach, your completion records are legally worthless. The industry response? A hard pivot to performance based verification. We are seeing a surge in demand for tools that require live scenario based decision making that agents, so far, struggle to fake. If your 2026 strategy relies on click next compliance, tear it up. It's dead.
I'm just going to Google to find out what Absorb does.
Oh, it's an LMS.
Ooh. That actually tracks performance-based interactions.
My guess would be, yeah, probably.
That's awesome. It is. These. I don't know that I can deal with these emotional swings each day and each week. Like there's always some new crazy thing to have to worry about. Like today it's that the agents have figured out how to make compliance training not suck because they go and complete the compliance training, or at least reduce our awareness of how sucky the compliance training is. But
Yeah, wouldn't it be great if we all just realized that there was a larger issue with compliance mandates than just constantly trying to outwit the person that we're trying to put into compliance?
it's you will comply. The beatings will continue until morale improves.
Yeah. You know, it's like you understand the heart of the matter, and you know, we get it. The business needs all of its humans to not screw up. So you mandate, because that's expensive. Like, mistakes are expensive. Um, so be knowledgeable, know how to do the job, know how to do the job right. And then when the government gets involved or some sort of regulating agency gets involved, they have a greater um, impact impacted group in mind, and so they're just trying to they're just trying to be good citizens and tell you that, hey, we're going to make sure that you, Mr. Company, or Mrs. Company, have all of your employees be as smart as they should be to do XYZ content. So, of course, the system, of course, it becomes a system. And of course, the system gets gamed. This is just how systems work. And we've gamed the system. The click next PowerPoints have been approved by the regulating bodies as verifiable training. And so, crap tons of it gets created. And we all take it and hate it, not because we don't want to learn, but because we're being forced into accepting the consumption of content at the speed of the lowest common denominator. So all of that training is built for the absolutely slowest, dumbest person in the room. And because you have to assume that you can reach the largest audience you possibly can. So you build some training and you force them, because the regulations say it must be 1 hour of training or a whole day of training. And so in order to do that, you're going to have to guarantee those legal regulators that this person sat and consumed your content for that exact specific amount of time. Therefore, you got that next button, it's not active until a certain amount of time has gone by. And so you sit there, you could read that content in 15 seconds, but if you have to sit there for a whole minute and a half, because that's going to equate to a full hour or a full day, however many slides you have, then that's what you have to do. And so, of course, sooner or later, people are going to game it. We've gamed it from the money making side. And so now AI gives ammunition to the user side of it to game it right back and to say, up yours, content creators. We've figured out how to push back. It used to be historical point of perspective. When web-based training first started, did you like that? I used a different phrase.
No, I did not like it. I wanted you to say it. It's like, say the word, say the word, say the words. It's like the Bart meme.
Back in the day, when web-based training was first a thing, so e-learning developers were just instructional designers that taught themselves, and they thought they understood the internet and the web and how the browser worked. The part they didn't understand was the F5 button on your keyboard was an easy way to do a page refresh. And so all you had to do was to completely reset the whole thing was to hit that refresh button, and then you could click the next button. You wouldn't have to wait the full 2 minutes, 3 minutes, however long they forced you to sit on the page. So you could just hit F5. If actually, this is what it was. It was the ones that had no next button. It just advanced after
Hmm.
the the proper amount of time went by. So you would just click F5, 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 and you could just zoom through all of the pages of most e-learnings. But then somebody caught on and they fixed that. But it was a thing.
Absorb LMS, the website, has something that
Yeah.
I don't think I don't recall ever seeing on a website in the area where they have some of the most prime real estate. So, top right hand corner of the frame, they have company, login help, careers, support, and submit an RFP. So, you get to submit. So, let's say you're one of those groups that needs 3 RFPs in order to be able to move through part of your buying process or whatever it is. You can go out here and you can put your email in and you can put your phone number in and answer the questions and number of learners and the date that the RFP is due and then comments and instructions. And on this landing page, it says we're eager to collaborate on your upcoming project. Complete the RFP form, and our team will follow up shortly to collect any documents and start the process of understanding your needs and processing a solution that meets your vision. Need help getting started? Use our free tool to download a customized template for your learning management system RFP. That's fascinating.
Why is that fascinating, Mike?
Well, first, why'd you laugh?
Just because I kind of know why it's fascinating.
Oh, well, like it's so on one hand, you're kind of like, oh, okay, well, you know what? If I want to get RFPs, this is a good way to get them. I guess people kind of stumble across it. And now I've got a landing page that's the name of the company, request for proposal, and that's going to show up in some of the it'll be on my site index. So some of the stuff is good. Will show up when people are searching. Um, One of the things when you're working with an organization who has to put out RFPs is you want to be part of the group that's helping to write. So for them to have their downloaded user free tool or download a customized template for your RFP now is kind of getting ahead of that without potentially having the relationship that is necessary there. And I don't know how well that works for them, but one of the challenges I've got is RFPs tend to be, at least on the sales side, a waste of time. Because most of the time when you get an RFP, you're not the first one there. And if you've written the RFP or helped co-write the RFP, you've laid enough things out there where you're likely going to be the company that stands up at the end. But I've never seen a corporate website, and maybe this is just a new thing. And this is what they're talking about: how sales has changed. Maybe the way sales has changed is now we just request that customers drop their RFPs directly on our website.
I can't imagine that somebody hasn't created an AI agent to automatically answer RFPs with predetermined
Oh, yeah.
responses, because that's a huge time suck that nobody wants to be paying their salespeople or whatever to be, dealing with those RFPs for 2, 3, 4 days, and then when you don't close the sale, it's just burnt time. So I thought you were going to say people just click that button and they automatically get a PDF that's got a perfect, a pre-created RFP they just get, and they can use it. But I guess it makes for a better sales lead.
Yeah. So I clicked on the create your own kind of version, and then it's like lays out LMS requirements, security requirements, support, implementation, integrations, content, and just kind of lays it out. So on a positive note, if you're looking at enabling your customers to do some of this stuff and they've not done it before, and you can kind of help them out, this is it's kind of interesting. I'm I wonder what companies are actually clicking on that stuff. I guess I'm going to find out when I get some of the notes about, hey, we noticed that you clicked our create RFP thing and you didn't
Well,
complete
yeah,
it.
let
What
us
would you?
know. Anybody from Absorb, if you want to come on and chat with us once we decide to start bringing on some guests. Let us know. Maybe that will be our. Maybe you that will be the trigger for us to pull to do a guest episode.
And to that piece that you mentioned about building out the agents, yeah, then definitely. I mean, it's happening. I mean, think about how hard those things were with the amount of even structured data, but structured data with different tags associated with it or different naming conventions, and now being able to do what you can do with unstructured data. Um, there's really no reason for you to continue to waste the amount of time that it would take to put
Yeah,
those
yeah.
together.
Other than building that relationship, but that's a whole sales thing we can talk about later. Hey, let's move on to our tech segment of the news
All right.
today. You know what's hilarious is I just read the camera movement that Gemini requests
Yeah.
is a jib sweep to video wall.
What's a jib sweep to video
So
wall?
it's a jib is a great big like a crane arm.
Okay.
You see him in the bigger studios. It's got the camera dangling off the end,
Got it.
and the cameraman is sitting back on the other end. It's counterbalanced, so you
Yeah.
can make a really nice, really smooth movements. So, if you jib sweep, you're going to swing that thing around and it's going to make the camera go from like a big wide shot of the studio to kind of
Oh,
zoom in on one area of the studio. If you're watching, if you watch the news closely, you might see those. I don't know if they do jib sweeps anymore, to be perfectly honest, but
so
um,
in sailing, you have a jib. So that jib is what moves around to help. And it's been a while since I've been on a sailboat, but if I remember right, the jib is the sail that will move, and it will have that large kind of sweeping motion to take it. It's different than the mainsail. So the mainsail will be the front sail, and then the jib will be behind. And then every once in a while, people will talk about liking the cut of your jib. So there you go.
man the jib. And I could totally have gotten that wrong on the jib. It's been a long time since I've seen phrases like that in scripts. But um, anyways, moving to tech and innovation. If 2025 was the year of AI experimentation, 2026 is the year of learning engineering. According to new data from e-learning industry, the traditional instructional design model is being replaced by learning product management. Here is the headline: AI simulations are replacing 50% to 70% of traditional practice activities. We are no longer building static SCORM packages. We are building adaptive data pipelines. The new standard is hyper personalized learning maps. These aren't just recommended links, they are real time AI generated pathways that adapt while the learner is practicing. If you are hiring IT talent right now, stop looking for storyline developers, quote unquote, and start looking for people who understand behavioral branching and data engineering. The course is no longer the unit of value, the skill delta is.
Before we jump into that, I need to correct myself just because I've got this illness when it comes to attention to detail around this kind of stuff. I completely confused the jib and the mainsail. So for the sailors out there, don't come at me. All right. So
Don't come at me, bro.
the that's super. So okay. So again, we've highlighted that hey, skills are important. Um, if we don't have the skill, we're not going to be able to leverage the tool. And this is getting us back into the skill of being able to um, design for a specific set of outcomes and then organize around it. If I understand that right, is that Is that
Well,
kind of what
no, here's how I understand it, and this plays into a lot of the phrasing that we've talked about for a very long time. And one of the things is, um, this isn't something that we've invented. Again, we are a lagging indicator. This is just a natural progression, and I've been telling people this, ever since the AI thing came out, probably even before, because it's headed this way. We wait until the technology exists, does a thing, or it proves or shows that it's going to be able to do a thing at some point, and then we adjust and figure out how we use it to best apply it to what we know is good learning practice. So that
yeah.
how the brain works, how we actually learn, right? We've used technology up until this point to do the best we can to get the results that we've needed. Good or bad, if everybody says, hey, courses never really worked anyways, it's arguable. Um, but Yeah. So the technology does this thing and everybody sees it. And so now we're reacting, going, oh, crap. We can't, we're going to have to figure out something else to do because of this new technology that's come in. So we figure out what the new technology is. The new technology is, as everybody's learning, you get to go just talk to it. It's a coach. It's the smartest coach in the world. It builds training on the fly. You don't need to build a course anymore because all you have to do is ask it, say, hey, AI, I need to learn XYZ. Can you um, take me through a process of getting from what I know now to what I need to know in order to accomplish X? And it will do it. It will, if you ask it to quiz you, it will quiz you. If you ask it to, build a learning plan for yourself for the next 6 weeks, it'll do it. How often, it'll build those things, and it will be good. It will be really good. As much as people say, I tried it and it was dumb and it got everything wrong. Okay. Yeah, maybe, but some people that have figured it out, that know how to use and apply the tool, are doing it, and it can be done. The fact that not everybody is able to do it yet isn't a thing. I don't think it matters. It Everybody will at some point, once the knowledge gets shared on how to do it correctly, or when the system calls bullshit on people finally and says, you're asking me dumb questions, ask a better question. Like, I can't wait for that day for the AI to go, I don't, you've not given me enough context. Instead, it just spits out an answer, right? But the day that the AI says, that's a dumb question. If you'd like a dumb answer, I'm happy to give you the old school AI dumb answer. But here are some. Do you really mean any one of these questions? And if so, here's some questions I have for you. Can you fill in all of these blanks? And then I can get you a smarter answer and probably more likely what you need. And I think some of them even do that now. So,
Well, it's funny. The one of the things that'll frustrate some people when they work with me is I typically will answer questions with a question.
yes, and it is aggravating.
You've experienced that? So so there's a but there's a reason for it.
Uh-huh.
What's the reason?
Well, I'll tell you from my perspective, it's I would say it's forced recall, and it's forcing you to think instead of just being handed the answers.
And on my side, what I'm looking for is context. Because how dare I provide a response or a solution without context,
Yeah.
without proper context? Now, there's a very different, it depends on time and place. Like if we've got 5 minutes before a next call and you're like, hey, dude, but I'm working on this thing. I need some help with this. What do you think about whatever? Right. Then I'm just going to lay out what I think about whatever because there's not a lot of time
Yeah.
between where we are and where we're going to get to go. There's not a lot of time to go on the journey. However, if I ask questions, I can help us avoid going down the wrong path.
Yeah.
And that, so there's there's value in people or things asking you questions to gain additional context, not only for them who don't want to waste their time and waste all the resources and have to build another nuclear reactor in order to be able to power this whole thing, because someone says please or thank you, but also move to the shift to that point of being able to say, hey, you know what? Actually, there's a little bit more to this, and we can actually refine and iterate and shrink things down a little bit in the way that we respond. So I think there's I'm I'm optimistic that we're not that far away from some of the things that are going to come back and responses. And actually, you're starting to see it in different ones. It's like, would you like this option, or this option? Would you like to be
Yes.
supersized? Would you like to be this in this area, or would you like that area? And that additional
Yeah.
context helps frame the response. So it's good. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
There's
And I think I took us in a wrong direction, totally
Right.
separate from what this article is actually talking about. But I think basically it's kind of like well, the thing that this reminds me of. So I'll make a very odd analogy. Is um, Scott Adams, may he rest in peace.
Yep.
Um, his big thing that he enlightened a lot of people to was systems over goals.
Okay.
Systems are better than goals.
Yep.
And if you build a system, a practice, a discipline of some sort, you will achieve goals. You will move forward. You will do things. Goals don't really give you anything other than a visual of a future state, but the system is what gets you there. And so systems over goals. And if you don't, if you don't understand, I am the worst person to try to help teach you systems over goals, but buy one of his books
or look at read Atomic Habits, which is the James Clear book, which talks about that. And there's a number of different resources that are out there. It's basically, hey, I mean, and the short version from my perspective of what's being conveyed is a goal is a thing. You will either hit it or not. If you don't hit it, you will feel guilty, you will feel less than, you will feel worthless. If you do hit it, you will get a dopamine rush for a short period of time, and then you'll move on to whatever the next thing is. Having a system, a combination of process and tools to help you perform will help you get in a better mode to make effective decisions, communicate effectively, um, work toward assessing data based on information. And so the people don't fail because they lack goals. People fail because they lack systems to help achieve those
there
goals.
you go. So the way I apply that to this particular news headline about changing what we do, I look at the building a course as a goal, right? The way we used to do things, right? You would build a course, and there was a process for building a course, a manufacturing style process, and it became a product that got spit out at the end. What AI is allowing people to do now is have a system where anybody that needs to learn how to do anything can reach into the system, and the system is there to help you learn and to customize that learning experience just for you. If you need to gain a new skill, your interaction with that system is going to be very different than somebody else who's going after that exact same skill.
Right.
But they ask the exact same system. The system is going to respond differently to each one of those people because it has the ability to understand the context, or at least ask the questions of what the context is. It should, as AI gets better within the enterprise, it should know you. It should know your personality. It should know your capabilities. And it should also know the job role that you're in and a whole bunch of other things. It should also know about the business and what the business needs. And so it can put all those pieces together and say, here is the perfect way that you need to move forward. Let me ask you a bunch of questions, and here's some things you can practice, and then tell me how you did, and we'll do more. That things like that. I mean, it's like it's the ultimate coach, teacher, instructor, system manager, all wrapped up into one thing. So that's why our industry is changing, and that's why we're shifting from storyline developers to behavioral branching and data engineering. The course is no longer the unit of value, the skill delta is. Now, this is something that I thought of. Go ahead. Sorry, I know you're.
Isn't that isn't but weren't we already there? Like when you were talking about storyline development, like wasn't that part of what you were doing? Like if you were an effective storyline developer, weren't you already thinking about branching scenarios and choose your own adventure and kind of if this then that and some of
Yeah,
those specific
there's only right. It's not. So this is what I'm saying.
yeah.
When I say, trying not to say it, but when I say historically,
Yeah.
as instructional designers, we've tried very hard. The goal has been to get to this point where we have this system that does these things.
Yeah.
We've each individually tried to build these learning engines inside of the courses that we create, a, also known as branching scenarios, simulations, conversational simulations, sales simulations, having a practice conversation with a potential buyer, and systems that can answer, but they only have so many options. We were only able to code a certain variety of ways that you can interact with these systems. We could only build them because there was money and there was constraints and there was
Yep.
SCORM
Yep.
and there was all of these things. But yes, that's why when I say we're a lagging indicator, we have all of these things that we know about how learning works, how the brain works, how adult learning theory works. We've just always tried to do the best we can with the technologies at hand. And
Mm.
so now we have a new technology that has given us an exponential leap in our ability to finally see our learners be able to get what they want. The sad part is they're not getting it from us. So that's where I think all the frustration and confusion comes from. We no longer have to build that branching scenario. AI automatically builds a customized branching scenario for each individual on any given day. So therein lies the rub. So, anyways,
Let's move on to the people
let's
piece.
move on to the people part. Finally, let's talk about the human element. What do you say, Mike? Let's do the human element.
Let's do
With
it.
remote work now permanent for many and AI handling the technical load, the definition of leadership has changed. The buzzword for this quarter, micro leadership. Recent reports on 2026 leadership trends highlight that long, formal one on ones are losing impact. Really? I'm shocked.
Wow.
Instead, high performing leaders are mastering context switching and micro coaching. It's the ability to provide high value guidance in a 30-second Slack huddle or a quick video burst, then immediately switch context to the next team. It's about relational intelligence, keeping distributed teams connected, not through hours of Zoom, but through high frequency, low friction micro moments. So here is your assignment for today. Go look at your leadership development curriculum. If it's still teaching how to run a 60-minute meeting, you're behind. Teach them how to lead in 30 seconds.
I might throw up. Like I literally like I AI, you've achieved your objective. I am speechless.
Uh, maybe this show will become a comedy
It
show.
might need to be. We have to work on our timing. But yeah.
I know. Yeah.
No, the holy crap. That's awesome.
I'm going to change my AI agent and I'm going to ask it to pretend it is all of the funniest comedy writers of all time. Take all of the news that you select for a regular news program and turn them all into jokes.
That might be a little bit of fun tomorrow. So if this was not entertaining enough, just wait till tomorrow. But wait, there's more. Um, well, that is exactly what we need. Is we need people to do more and go from thing to thing to thing to thing to thing just faster. Because if we do that, if
Yeah.
we do more and we go to thing to thing to thing to thing to thing just faster, we are certainly going to start. Oh, we're going to build better leaders. We're going to
Way more productive. Can you imagine how many leaders you can now
like
mentor
holy
with micro leadership? Wow. Like you could have just like one guy, all 30,000 of your employees can be leadership managed by one guy. Gal.
seconds at a time. Seconds at
Just
a time.
seconds. Just bam, 30-second leadership.
Cool. But if we just wait until 29-second leadership comes out, and then 28-second, the not
Well, why we have why they said 30 seconds, because it's the goldfish thing. Yeah, or is that 8 seconds? Do we get down to 8 seconds and then
we'd have to get
stop?
Clark on here to tell us that. It is it's fascinating to me. So
So it's a high value guidance in a 30-second Slack huddle or a quick video burst. Then immediately switch context to the next team.
so I was listening to Rogan over the weekend, and Matt Damon and Ben Affleck were both on Rogan, and I'm only maybe 10-ish, 15-ish minutes into it, and it's been fascinating. It's actually helping me think a little bit differently about how I do the video content that I do. And as Jen and I were walking, taking us all the way back to the way back at the beginning of this conversation, we were talking about the longer walks. We're saying that one of the things that they highlighted, I was think it was Matt Damon who said this, but he's like, "Hey, when I first got into doing action movies, they said, look, there's going to be three primary sets that we're going to work around. The first set is going to be the first scene, and then there's going to be the second set, which is going to be the second broader scene, and then the third set is going to be this third scene, and that's where you're going to have the biggest explosions. Like all the really big stuff is going to happen there." And now what they're asking us to do is have the big explosions within the first 5 minutes, because you just want to hook people and keep them there. And then the next piece that came up in the conversation was, and make keep reintroducing and reminding people about the plot through dialogue throughout each of the individual scenes. and rather than having to figure out, I mean, you remember like in English writing way back when you'd read a book or you'd watch something and then you'd have to write down, well, what was the plot, right? Well, they're saying in dialogue, remind people of the plot. And I thought, fuck, you know what I need to do? I need to, every 90 seconds in my videos, remind people what we're talking about. I said, as much as it's going to irritate the hell out of me to restate, so just as a reminder, here's why we're doing that, whatever. But it is shifting my perspective around what do I need to do from a content development perspective, given some of those
Yeah.
kind of challenges. But the 30 step aside, Ken Blanchard, their 30-second manager is now here to take over. Wow.
Oh my God. Yeah. I think it kind of also follows the tell them what you're going to tell them, tell it to them, and then tell them what you just told them. It kind of follows that sort of model
But
as well.
so again, back in the day, you would do that at different points over, let's say it's a 45-minute keynote as an example. You'd lay it out, you'd lay it in, and then you'd wrap it up or something like that. Or you might even have three different versions of that throughout. But to have it have to happen so often because people are losing, aren't there's this the dopamine of going and looking at your phone, or the dopamine of going and doing whatever the thing is. Um, I don't know that it's attention spans. I'm not into the science on this, and I know that there are some people that are. Um, I can tell you, for whatever reason, people can get stuck or just immerse themselves in a movie. So if they can get immersed in a movie, um, or immersed in a good book, we still have the ability to pay attention to things that don't suck for a period of time.
Yeah. Yeah. It is, and everybody talks about that, and as a counter to the whole 8-second
Yeah.
goldfish thing, the 30-second do this, quick hits, do this, do that. I'll even take a more positive
All
side
right.
to it. I think 30-second leadership is kind of a great goal, maybe done correctly and effectively and frequently. I think that's the kicker. I think if you're doing, and it says through high frequency, low friction micro moments. So in the way I
Yeah.
read that is you're connecting with your
Sure.
teams. You're 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 actually becoming more part of the team than the traditional manager slash leader role where you just checked in with the team every Monday morning and every Friday afternoon or once a month or whatever. Hey, how's everybody doing? Give me a report out on everything you guys have done this week, and then let's talk about it. Okay, we're having lunch brought in. Okay, great. Now let's do birthdays. Okay, everybody, here's someone's birthday this week. Okay, great. See you next week or next month or whatever. Instead, you're in the Slack, or you're constantly monitoring all of the progress and all of the conversations. And you, as a leader, if you feel like you can jump in and help or ask an appropriate question to guide them in a certain direction, or help them speed up a little bit faster to be more efficient, or the little things like that, then that's what you should be doing. But it doesn't save anybody any time. It's just saying, hey, do you want to be a little bit more effective? Well, let's just engage more with
Do
your
you
people.
remember MBWA?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, management by walking around.
And they're different, and it's walking around, and that's how I know it. Others will say wandering around. You're just kind of being you're in there. You're actually out in the field seeing the things that happen. And the benefit of doing it is now you can see the picture while everybody else is in the frame. Right? Like everybody's
Yeah.
in there doing their work, and they're going from my little part of the car to pass it over to my friend, and then they're going to work on their little part of the car, and then they're going to work on their little part of the car, and everything's going to work through its assembly line. And we just get so caught up in these things, we get tunnel vision. So wandering around, walking around, we get to see the entire picture, rather than be stuck in the frame. And it's really hard to do this if you're just sitting in an office. If you're and as you move into managing remote folks, and I've been fortunate enough to work remotely since 2003. That was the first time I moved into a remote role and started working from home. When you're managing people in a remote environment, you've got to come up with different ways to be able to observe, to walk around, so to speak. And some people, you back then, it wasn't sending somebody a text message or Slack. It was sending them an instant message in what in this cool tool called Trillium, which I think is today still the best instant messaging tool ever created, because it brought together Yahoo Instant Message, AOL Instant Message, and a couple of these other ones that were out there, again, back in the day. But there are different ways that you can just kind of touch. And some people in the restaurant space will talk about the importance of touching tables. So if you've ever been in a restaurant and you're eating and you're like, I haven't seen the waiter or waitress in a while. What's going on? Well, one of the things in order for them to be really effective is go back, have like a count of how many times are they touching a table. Are they going, do they ever go longer than 5 minutes without touching that table? Or 10 minutes. And then really good ones will observe what happens when they touch the table. Does the table want to be touched or not? Like, and what's happening in the conversation and all of that other kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So observe. The takeaway for me is observe. And then when you observe, interact and engage. And when you interact and engage, continue to observe a little bit further. The challenge I have around it when the pressure turns into these micro moments is what is are you potentially getting in the way of real work happening, because now you're the shiny thing that keeps coming in. You're the dopamine rush that keeps coming in and getting involved. But I think it's
Yeah.
interesting. I think we're all going to kind of learn as we go through this around what works, what doesn't work, what do we want to change, how does that change depending on the people that we have around. And that's why I think the skill of critical thinking, which is a combination of problem solving and decision making and observation, is going to be is going to be critical for us.
It absolutely is. And, as we all move forward and struggle through this AI thing, we should all figure out how to get together on it. Let's go ahead and pitch our idea before we take off for today of doing a challenge, an AI challenge with, I would say 4, but maybe if we can only find 3, that would be good. If we can find anybody, if anybody's watching this all the way to this point at the end, we should probably just reach out in general. But if you consider yourself a master or at least kind of good at one of the AI tools, if you're a Gemini person, if you're a Copilot person, if you're a ChatGPT person, if you're a Perplexity person, or if there's others that you've gotten really, really good at and you'd like to participate, reach out to us and let us know. We're looking for at least 3 different general AI platforms that we could sit 3 people down in a live stream for an hour and a half or so once a month, and we do a challenge, and everybody uses their tool and their knowledge, and we work out loud together as a group, and we all prompt our AI platforms differently, or maybe sometimes we use the exact same prompt to see what happens. I don't know yet. We're still working through the bugs on it, but it would be a very interesting way, I think, for people to spin up and learn in a really fun way, and get some education in on this whole AI transition stuff.
Reach out to us. Let us know. This could be fun, and we're going to learn. We're going to learn together as we go through it. Brent, where can people find out what you're working on or connect up with you?
Everybody just needs to hang out with me on LinkedIn. Just give me a follow there. And where can people find their catalyst, Mike?
I would love it if you subscribe to our newsletter at findmycatalyst.com. You can find your catalyst at findmycatalyst.com. Brent, see you tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel.